Just the injury situation, Dylan's status,
Yeah.
Jeremy, just kind of housekeeping on.
Yeah, I'll just go through.
The roster.
Yes. Dylan is doing well. He's on the court. That'll be just a pretty straightforward ramp up in terms of, getting that thing to the point where it can have contact and be ready to be in a game and not get hit. De'Aaron Fox is improving and getting better. He's working out on the court. Had a hamstring injury, and we're just going to be very mindful and conservative as we always are. He'd, be out there ready to be practicing tomorrow, but we'll be big picture, obviously long season ahead. And Jeremy's left calf, similar, just improving on the court. All those guys are just getting better and better every day and improving and want to push it, but obviously we will not, as we have traditionally here.
Do you think Dylan will see any time?
I'm sorry.
Do you think Dylan will see any time in the preseason? Will he be able to play at some point in the preseason?
We'll see. Yeah, I think, again, we're not going to try to put any particular timetable on certain things. Just everything is heading in the right direction and trending, and so we just want it to continue that way. And when it's all the way good and it's probably a little overdone on our end medically, then we'll clear them as we always do.
Mitch, since we last saw you here with the passing of the torch from Pop, it's kind of been your show. You've hired new guys for your staff, Sean Sweeney and Corliss Williamson. Can you just tell us a little bit about your summer and how it is you're putting your stamp on this with your coaches, your roster, and how you see things maybe changing a little differently this year than last?
Yeah, I think very excited to get the opportunity to prepare for a season and to go through that cycle of the off season and what comes about at times with that. One of those circumstances was rounding out the staff. Last year we didn't bring any staff in, so there were some opportunities to felt like we needed to round out the staff and add a few people, and we felt really good about the people that we brought in and people that we feel are our type of people and about the right stuff, and obviously their resumes and experience precedes them in their experiences and what they've done prior to here, but really excited about adding to the group.
I noticed when you went down the medical chart earlier, you didn't mention Victor. Is he the full go, full clear to start practice tomorrow?
Victor's cleared. He's been cleared by our medical team and by the league.
And is he? Do you imagine it'll take him a while to ramp up and get some rust off? I don't imagine he had a very busy basketball summer.
He's been ramping up. He's been in a really good place. I would think, if anything, his excitement and just ready to get back on the court, it's been obviously some time, and he was in angst for a long time to get back. So I would say that's probably that more than anything.
Hey, Coach, can you talk about just so many great defensive players, and then you pick up Dylan and Carter, just sort of what they can bring to you, the team defensively? A lot of athleticism, a lot of length.
Yeah, I think, Brian and his crew get a lot of credit for identifying certain traits and skills that we're looking to add to our team and continue to develop when we get certain types of players, and that defensive mindset is something that is at the forefront of that. And I think that'll be something that we want to continue to grow upon this year, not only with guys that we brought in like Dylan and Carter, or some of the free agents or people we've added, but also the guys that have been here, to continue to grow our identity and for that defensive side of the court to be our anchor.
Mitch, we've gone through almost a full year now of asking you about first, but this is the first time you're opening a camp, and I know that Pop had his way of sort of setting a tone for a season. Do you think about him at a time like this, and how do you kind of set the tone for a season as a head coach starting a camp?
Yeah, I think, one, I think about him a lot. I talk to him also, so he's still sharing his mentorship and ideas and thoughts and advice. I think setting the tone, it's my job to set the vision and expectations for the players, and then it's their job to bring that to life. And so I think it's my job to have the clear objectives of what we're trying to achieve and the outcomes that we're looking for. And I think that's something that we're hoping to start tomorrow and feel good about in the next few weeks, trying to implement.
What are your thoughts sort of on this journey that Vic kind of embarked on over the summer? Because it was, mental, physical, some of everything.
Yeah. Especially when you follow it on social media like a lot of people have, right? It's a pretty unique rabbit hole you can get down. For someone of his age, he is so intentional on the variety of ways that he tries to improve as a player and a person. It's really something I've never witnessed or experienced in my time. It's quite curious. It's quite constantly trying to push himself out his comfort zone and learn new things. And I just really am in awe sometimes of just the levels that he goes and the things that he thinks about that may be a small nuance, but he feels like if I can add this to my world being mindset, whatever it may be, it can help him or help me from his perspective when he's thinking that. And I think that's something that's just not very common in someone at his age. I know I wasn't thinking like that at that age.
The two veteran big guys that you guys added, Olenek and Cornette, what are you looking for from each of those guys?
I think the variety and versatility of their skill sets is something that complements our group. I think they've been a part of winning programs in their careers. I think they are people that have embraced their role and really been able to help teams and impact winning that doesn't always add up maybe on a stat sheet or show up in a box score, but when you really look into their roles and some of the things that they've done and the places they've been, those were two people that we identified to be a part of our group that we thought could really round out our lineups and rotations.
Hi, Coach. How big is the difference to start the season with Wemby on and off the court compared to the end of last season where he was out?
To have him on the court versus off the court?
No, I mean, how big is the difference to having him on and off the court around you, around the team, compared to having him out for the end of the season?
Yeah, I think it's extremely important. His maturation process and growth as a player and our team are very, very mutually inclusive. And so for him to be a part of our team in the locker room, on the airplane, on the court, in a huddle, during a timeout, whatever it may be, there is so much value into that, whether that's right at that moment or what we're trying to grow and build here. And so for him to be around and then for him to also have that fulfillment of being able to compete, because we know how he's wired and what he really identifies with and values in that regard, it's something that, unfortunately you probably take it for granted when it's there, and then when it's gone, you really feel it. And so I think, again, to have him healthy and ready to go right now is something that we're feeling really good about.
Mitch, D over here. You only got 5 games with De'Aaron and Wemby together last year. Steph emerges as Rookie of the Year. You guys have all offseason, you and your new staff, to talk about basically new people, plus the guys, the free agents that you pick up. Have you guys thought about, I'm sure you thought about it, but how this all works together, how these pieces, they're all the talk that, 3 or 4 guards can't play together, all that kind of stuff. And does it look differently than the way you guys were playing at the end of last year?
I think the biggest thing will be that defensive identity. I think that we've landed on that being something that should be able to carry us through. And anytime you add new pieces, especially big pieces like a De'Aaron Fox, there will be time that it takes to find continuity, rhythm, chemistry. You see it all across the league. One thing that probably doesn't get talked enough about, in my opinion, is continuity. Very seldom do teams have the type of success they've had without 1, 2, 3+ years together, whether that's base, whether that's foundational pieces. As you can look back to, I don't know how many champions, but all the ones that I can think of, they've had some type of base. Even Indiana last year, right? They've been growing that thing for a few years. And so I think for us, to have a base and an anchor, which is our defense, and then it will be on us as a staff to continue to put people in places and in situations where they can grow and play together and learn how to play together. And I think we're never going to shy away or avoid having too many good players, especially with the amount of versatility and variety of strengths that they have. I think that's something we believe that they can play together and complement each other. And I think, again, when you go back to a lot of the teams who've had success recently in our league, there's been multiple people on their team that can dribble, pass, and shoot and play off each other. And the great thing about it, I think, more than anything, has been not only the willingness, but actually the enthusiasm that those guys have had to play with one another and to be able to, me create an advantage for you and vice versa, and be able to play with their strengths on strengths together.
Mitch, you guys have been very patient in building this program back. Fans, maybe not so much after the playoff drought that you guys have experienced. What are your expectations for this team this season?
Yeah, I think, first of all, I think there's an acknowledgement of fans aren't supposed to be patient. So that's part of their job and what they do. And we love the support, and we love that they want us to win. I think our expectations are continuing to do what you just said. We've been building this thing and trying to grow and trying in the right direction. And we feel like this is another step of our journey in the maturation process into becoming a more competitive team.
Hi, Coach. You just talked about Wemby and how curious he is, and just what do you think about his idea, to create this fan section with die-hard fans in the arena? Did he talk to you about this, and do you think it can work? It can take off, not only in San Antonio but in the NBA in general?
I have no idea if it'll work. I guess that's up to the people that he chose or who are going to be in that section, and if they have the wherewithal to be able to achieve that. We actually talked about it last year when we were in Paris. We went to a PSG football game, and they have obviously a very big section that does exactly that. And so seeing that in person was a very big experience and impression made upon me. I love the idea, and if we have a group of people that can do that, that's awesome.
Hi, Coach. We're good. You're just the second black head coach in franchise history in a city that's populated predominantly by people of color. How significant is that for you and your family?
I think it's significant in the sense that if people resonate or identify with something that hasn't happened much or is something that may be new for them in their world, and that gives them any type of positive mindset or belief in something for themselves or their loved ones, and that's great. Honestly, for me, I don't know if I've always thought about it or think about it. This place is so diverse in the environment that we're here, and I guess it's something that maybe I don't take for granted, but it's not on the forefront of my mind. But yeah, I think if it's something that someone resonates with or relates to, then that's awesome.
Mitch, I know the modern NBA is positionless, but what position does Stephon Castle play?
Really good player. Yeah, I think, again, we have a few of those guys. And I think the more different ways that our guys can impact winning and play together, the more different ways and combinations of guys we can play together. And that gives us just that much more ammo and runway to be creative and thorough in trying to create advantages and put good players together that can complement each other.
Your predecessor would be proud of that answer. I guess a question that people have is, do you see him playing alongside De'Aaron and/or Dylan, or do you see situations where Stephon might be the lead guard on the court at a certain time?
I see all that. I think Steph has proven in 3 years everything you just asked. In high school, he was an All-American who was the main creator and played with the basketball in his hands the whole time. He goes to UConn and plays every position but basically person with the ball in their hands as a primary creator. And then he arrived here, and a lot by circumstances, and then also a lot by potential and what he showed us, played every single role. He handled in pick and roll. He set screens in pick and rolls. He improved on his catch and shoot from three. He's obviously been one of our main defenders. We're going to ask him to rebound. We're going to ask him to play on and off the ball. And so I think what he has already done is just something we want to continue to grow him in. And again, I think he's built for it, has already shown the chops to do it and had success with it.
What's up, Mitch? I'm sure you spent this summer strategizing, planning, thinking, theorizing all the things you want to implement this season. So I'm wondering, when you open Twitter and you see Vic acting like the most interesting man in the world commercial, doing everything imaginable, how does that open up possibilities for you maybe to push to the next level of what kind of creativity you want to instill in the team this year?
Yeah, I think, luckily with Vic, I don't have to open up Twitter. Like, the creativity is something that's been there from day one. We want this team to be in the reflection of Victor. He's our best player. He's our guy. And so we're going to continue to build with him, build around him, and hopefully push him and challenge him in ways and hold him accountable to continue to be better like he wants to be and be coached hard. And that is going to be something that we ask of him along with all the other players. And I think his willingness to embrace that is really important for our group.
Keldon and Devin are old hands, of course, now. What are your expectations for those two, particularly Devin?
It's crazy to hear that. I think those guys have really matured and kind of graduated to that next step of being an NBA player, and you kind of alluded to that as we smile and say in tongue-in-cheek, those guys are our vets. Those guys have been here long enough now that know what things are supposed to look like and sound like and be like. And I think for them to go through the cycle of their individual growth and roles that they have and still be who they are as people and want to be a part of this program shows that they want to be a part of this thing for the long haul. And I think the continuation of that and impacting winning and being winning players is something where they have shown they are committed to. And I think, again, for us to take that next step of our journey and our maturation process to truly do that, then those guys will have to be at the forefront of leading that.
Following that up, Mitch, there was a time Jeremy and Keldon were the primary scorers and the guys, right? And so now with all the attention going to Castle's emergence, Wemby coming back, the addition of De'Aaron, the addition of Harper, do you have to get Devin and Keldon to accept different type of roles, whether that's less shots, whether that's less minutes, or focus on something different like defense?
I think to answer that question, I think it's a team answer. Obviously, they'll get attention because they've been here. So when you look back on their history here, their roles may look different, but that's really the NBA. And I think when you talk about winning, and when you have teams that focus on winning, and when you actually do win, then you get that in a variety of ways, right? Like, no one knows who led OKC in all their playoff games in scoring, or who hit this big shot, or who did this big play, because it leads to winning. And so I think that they did that at the highest level this past season, and that's something where when you're striving to do that, you don't have to ask someone to do that or try to convince them of that. When everybody has one thing in mind and one goal, and that's winning, then whatever's called upon is called upon, and hopefully everybody's going to be able to deliver when asked.
Coach, when it comes back to setting the tone, is there a motto or a word that you're clinging on to this season that kind of conveys the message of the team this year?
I think we're just going to wake up and do the work of the day that's called, and then try to continue to repeat that over and over again. But no, there's no motto. There's no lightning rod word or anything like that. We're just going to work.
Coach,
Kelvin's up next. Thank you. Thank you, Mitch.
How y'all doing? Oh, man. Year 7.
yeah, what's that like being, the old hand?
Time flies. I feel like I could vividly remember my rookie year. So seeing so many new young guys come in and being one of the older guys is crazy.
Speaking of newer guys, how does Wemby look?
Amazing. I feel like he's on a mission. I feel like he has something to prove. We all have something to prove. But he looks really, really good. I think, it's gonna be a good year.
Kelvin, question for you back here, brother. Back here.
Here we go. What's up?
Question for you on Mitch Johnson's first training camp now with the Spurs. What have you seen having played for Pop for so many years and now going with Mitch? If you could see, what's the biggest difference between playing for Greg Popovich and playing for Mitch Johnson?
It's two totally different, coaches, two totally different, people. I feel like Mitch is his own coach. He has his own style and his own way of doing things. Coach Pop is legendary coach, amazing coach. Probably one of the best coaches, the best coach I've ever played for in my life. Amazing person on and off the court. And, same thing with Mitch, but Mitch is different. He brings that energy. He's younger, and I'm excited to be able to, play for Mitch Johnson. I think he's going to do a magnificent job, and he's definitely going to, lead us in the right direction.
Hey, Keldon, over here.
Oh, here we go.
You've been through obviously some lean years with the Spurs. Just seeing the depth now, and just sort of the way this team's been constructed. Kind of, what are your expectations? How do you feel with so much depth on this team right now?
We're not hiding our expectations. Our expectation is to win. And we're not running away from that. We're not avoiding that. So, but as far as our depth, I feel like we have a really, really good team. Open gym's been competitive. We've been getting after it. And we definitely been getting better. So I feel like I'm very, very confident in the team we have this year. And I can't wait. I'm excited. Tomorrow can't come fast enough for training camp.
You mentioned when you sat down in year 7, what are some things you think you can bring to this group, being that guy that's been here the longest, that's been here 7 years?
Just, what I bring every year. I feel like, the energy, toughness, and that's just being Keldon. I feel like for this group, I feel like I'm a big part of the group. And, every day just being myself, bringing the energy, for sure.
Do you feel like a mentor to some of these guys now?
Definitely, for sure. I wouldn't even say mentor. I just feel like I'm an older brother to the younger guys, and whatever they need or whatever they need from me, I'm there, and we just go from there. I feel like it's not really a mentorship, but it's more those are my brothers.
You said you remembered your first day walking in here as a rookie. How would you compare Keldon Johnson, the rookie, on his first day of work to the guy sitting here right now?
Man, it's crazy. I feel like when I was a rookie, you think you know everything, but you don't know anything. And I feel like, I was definitely full of energy, nervous. But I feel like from now to then, definitely a totally different professional. I feel like the talent definitely has gotten better, and that come with time. But I feel like the professionalism, becoming a professional, being on time all the time, and all the little things that it takes to be a true professional. And I feel like those things have changed magnificently since my rookie year.
Keldon, you're over here. Your role has changed a lot in the years that you've been here. What do you expect your on-court role to be this year, and how have you prepared your body in the offseason to take that on?
I really feel like, whatever I need to do, I do it. Whatever position I'm put in to be able to help my team and affect my team in a positive way to win games is what I do. I feel like this offseason has been no different. You get in the lab, you work on the things that you need to work on this summer, and fine tune those things, and hopefully, continue where I left off at, and that was on a strong note from last season. So, things may be different, but I'll be prepared, and whatever I need to do, I'll get it done.
Keldon, over here. The addition of Fox and the emergence of Steph Castle kind of changes the dynamic of what you guys had before they arrived. Does that mean that your role has to change at all? And I mean, obviously, you sound like you're on board with doing whatever it takes, but do you see it changing some with guys like that needing more touches, playing more minutes?
I feel like, with having a player like De'Aaron and, having, another great player like Steph Castle, obviously things change. And whatever's needed, we'll get done. There's no change in the mindset. I feel like we're a team. And whatever we got to do to win, that's what's most important to us. So, whatever my role may be throughout the season, and it may change throughout the season, I'll be prepared. But long as I can go out there and put my team in the best situation to win, that's all that matters.
Yeah, Kelton, obviously, last season, a lot of changes, new number, new role. Do you feel yourself being a little bit more comfortable this year, heading into what you think might be a little bit more stable situation?
Definitely, I'm definitely comfortable. I feel like I've been here all summer. I've been with the guys. We've been able to get in the gym together, get some work in, being able to compete and things like that. And I'm ready. I feel like I'm in a good spot mentally and physically. So I would say I'm comfortable, but I'm excited, man. I'm ready for training camp to start.
Kelton, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Good. So, Coach Mitch Johnson had mentioned earlier that you and Devin Vassell are now leaders in the locker room. You guys are veterans. What are some ways you and Devin push each other now? Do you guys have better chemistry now? How do you guys, keep each other close now that you guys are veterans?
I feel like me and Devin always have been, I would say really good friends. I would say on the court because obviously we came in a year apart, but off the court I feel like we're just as tight, just hanging out. And I feel like we definitely push each other. We definitely honest with each other. And, as leaders of the team, that's what you expect from each other. We definitely give each other, the honest feedback that's needed, even on the good days and the bad days. So when things are going good, obviously you want to give your teammates your flowers, you want to give your brothers flowers, but when they're going bad, your teammate got to know. And that I'm going to be honest with you because I want the best for Devin and the rest of my teammates. But Devin definitely, he's a trooper. And I feel like I've been more and more impressed as the years go on to see his work ethic and see the time they put in and to make sure that his body stays in the best shape. So seeing how his summer progressed and seeing the work that he put in this summer, I can't wait to see how his year turns out. I think Devin's going to have an amazing year.
Hey, Keldon, I think you got the number 3 back?
Yes, sir.
What did the guy who wore it last year mean to this group? You talk about how y'all now have winning expectations, and one of the things that Chris always brought up last year was learning how to win in the final 5 minutes when it was a totally different game. Who kind of carries over that practice this season?
Well, first and foremost, Chris is one of the best point guards that ever played the game, Hall of Famer. He's a legend of the game. And he definitely, brought that winning mentality to the young guys. And really, I feel like he really, helped me out. He really took me under his wing and taught me things. So I feel like, going forward, I feel like, last 5 minutes when you're trying to win, I feel like that takes a team effort. And I feel as though the group that we have can come together. It's not going to be one person. Obviously we have some great players. So, but I feel like as a team effort and the way that we approach the year, I feel like we'll be able to get it done. All right, y'all have a great day.
Good morning.
Good morning. I guess how was your summer, and if you could update us on your little injury situation you got going on right now.
Yeah, no, my summer was good. It was pretty busy, all over the place, but it was good. There was highs and lows. Getting ready for the Eurobasket, I kind of tweaked my calf, some minor injuries, so it's not too bad. But it's been a long process recovering, and there's been highs and lows, but I feel good. So that's the most important thing, and can't wait to get started.
Do you feel like you'll be able to participate at some point in camp, or is it
For sure. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, no, definitely.
I'm wondering, Jeremy, how the tour of Europe with Dev and Steph went.
Yeah.
Did you show them the sights, and was that a worthwhile experience?
100%. No, it was a great experience. I think they had a lot of fun. I don't know if you've asked them about it, but it was great to be with my teammates. Just experience Europe and Spain together. The food, the weather, the ocean. It's so beautiful. So it was great to do that with my team.
How did your experience on that trip, do you think, compare to what Victor did globetrotting the world this summer?
Yeah.
And do you think that's a cool thing that players on this team were able to go out and do stuff aside from basketball?
100%. I think for me that kind of helps you grow your perspective, and just changes the way you view the world, and different people, different coaches, and just to experience that, I think it's a rich thing to do, and it's a blessing. And I think it's really cool that it's kind of like the Spurs culture to do that, and it's cool to have different type of people in our locker from different backgrounds, and I think it's really cool.
Jeremy, I saw you giving a hard time to Victor during Eurobasket on social media.
Yeah.
What's y'all's relationship been like this summer? What's it been like to see him back, getting healthy and ready for another year?
No, it's been great. I think that's a relationship that we've been building since the day he got here. It's been great. I think his rehab's been going great. The way he looks is amazing. I think he's super motivated and excited for the season, and it's been great. Yeah.
And for this team, obviously with everything that happened last year, how big of a focal point is stability going to be? Having Mitch back, having Victor healthy.
Yeah.
You guys are returning. What's that like for you?
I think it's super important for us. Being healthy is going to be a vital thing for success. I think the way we've been working this summer, I think that will help. Just consistency. Working on our bodies, working in the gym. I think it's going to help a lot. So yeah, I think we're all super excited.
Jeremy, after spending time with the Polish team this summer and at least getting to train with them, how do you think training with them is going to translate to your forthcoming season with the Spurs?
Yeah, for me, European basketball, especially Eurobasket level, it's high level. Just the attention to detail, playing as a team defensively. You have to go out and scout for a numerous amount of top level in the NBA. Luka Doncic, Denny Advia was one of the players that we were scouting for. The attention to details, is pretty amazing to see, and I think this is the same thing in the NBA. Night in, you're going to be, guarding the best players. On every team, there's someone who can really score the ball and affect the game. So I think for us is, for me, it's the attention to detail and just seeing the little things, and I think that helps a lot.
On like an individual basketball skill level, are there any particular things you've been working on this summer so you can be an even bigger part of what the Spurs are doing?
Yeah, I think for me, again, it's all round, working on everything. I think also for me, strength and conditioning has been really important. I think the type of player I am, I play pretty aggressive and, physical. So just getting my body right for that, for 82 games is really important. And then, on court, again, it's the same thing, working on my shot, my ball handling, just reading the game on both sides of the court, and, that's really been it.
Form looks a little different than it did last year. What tweaks have you made there, and how's that working for you?
Yeah, I've made. It's been a long process. Again, it's not always going to be perfect, but for me, a couple of things that we've been working on is my wrist placement, elbow, how I raise the ball, how I catch the ball, footwork. So there's been a lot of different things, but I think I'm in a good place. So yeah, I'm super excited to show that to you.
Jeremy, as the quote-unquote defensive stopper of this squad, and with Wemby coming back, and, he looked like a lock for defensive player of the year last year. Where do you guys stand defensively? Do you think you guys have a making of having a pretty impressive defensive team?
I think it's, when you look down the roster, what we can do defensively is pretty, scary. I think, what we've been talking about as a team, I think, defense is, our number one goal. We want to be the best on that side of the court. So, I think it's pretty scary, and I think, the way we're motivated and, just excited to play on that side, I think it's going to be amazing to, see. And, you guys are going to see a lot.
Hey, Jeremy. You made headlines last year for some of the footwear you wore, specifically against the Knicks, the black Air Force Ones.
Yeah.
Today we got Margellas on. What was the thought process behind?
There wasn't much thought process. I just went into my wardrobe and saw, a shoe I wanted to wear. To me, it's pretty cool to, express yourself. I think it's important to be yourself as well. And yeah, there wasn't a crazy amount of thought process in it, but yeah.
Jeremy, over here, you were talking about having the summer to travel, maybe get a bit of like a creative and spiritual reset. How does that help you prepare for the season, and what do you learn over those months that you take with you into the year?
Yeah, I think, a lot of things you learn is, for me, consistency. During the season, you're playing 82 games. There's days where, you feel kind of busy, but it's always important to find some time to yourself. Experiencing different coaches, you just experience so much, and different people, different foods, and you kind of just bring that to the season too, off the court, just try to be yourself and try different things, and on the court, again, just going and having fun. At the end of the day, you start basketball because you was excited and you had fun, so you just try to bring that too, on the court too.
We haven't seen Victor on the court since February. Some of you guys might have seen him a little bit. How does he look? And was there a moment during open gym where you're like, oh yeah, he's back?
Yeah, I think he's been back way before open gym. Yeah. You see how hard he works and how motivated he is. I think it's super exciting to see, and I think he's ready. I think you guys are gonna see a lot that's gonna shock you guys, and I think everyone's excited and can't wait to see him on the actual NBA court.
There's things he can do that will shock us that we haven't seen.
100%. Yeah, I think it's like that every year. You know what I mean? So.
Knowing you, Jeremy, you're a pretty physical player. Did you hit Victor yet in open gym, and did you feel about it the first time you did it? Can he take some punishment yet?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think there's been a crazy amount because I'm still recovering and stuff. But no, we've definitely had our little battles too. So yeah. Thank you.
Hey Steph, how you been? How was your off season, and what's your kind of excitement level for year two?
I've been good. Off season been long off season for sure, but yeah, I've been able to work on a lot of things, and I'm excited going into this year.
Did you find a place to put the trophy, the Rookie of the Year trophy?
Not me. My mom took it back home, but yeah, I don't know where it's at now. Yeah, it's safe though for sure.
Hey, Steph, can you talk about just sort of, I know you've had some open runs, but just sort of the potential for a defensive team that you'll have, with yourself, with Wemby, with Jeremy, and then the rookies you have coming in, just talk about just the potential defensively?
Yeah, I feel like our potential defensively is scary. I mean, from what I saw with the flashes defensively, not even like thoroughly going through our coverages yet. Just seeing that already is definitely a great sign. But yeah, I mean, we have the potential with the length and the IQ that we have defensively with the guys that we have. We have potential to be a great defensive team.
Steph, wondering if there were certain aspects of your game that you focused on this offseason.
I would say making reads a lot more efficient. I would say quicker reads, a lot of on-ball shot reps. Guys go under screens, guys go over screens. Finding spots that I could get to that I'm comfortable with, and then just sharpening up parts of my game that I've already would consider strengths. Just staying in the gym as much as possible, keeping my conditioning up. I feel like just the little things gonna carry me through this year.
Steph, on a team with De'Aaron coming back and Dylan being added to the mix, what position do you play?
Say it again?
What position do you play?
For what?
On the basketball court?
Oh, shit. I mean, I play the 1 and the 2. I mean, really wherever the guys need me to play.
With De'Aaron and Dylan around, is that mix going to work? And have you thought about that? And have you kind of tried out any of it? I know those guys are banged up, but do you have a vision in your head of how that mix works on the court?
Yeah, definitely. I haven't really got to play, a lot with those guys this summer for obvious reasons. But yeah, I mean, just having 3 talented, high IQ guards like that share, the similar position. I feel like it's a plus for us, being able to play off of each other, learn each other game pretty early. And I mean, just us being on the court together, I feel like we'll be able to feed off each other pretty well.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you about is I'm glad to see you back. You made it through a trip to Europe with Jeremy as your chaperone. How did that work? What were the highlights of that trip?
I mean, it was great. Jeremy was a great host. Everybody was safe. We had a great time. But yeah, I mean, now it's time to lock into the season.
Steph, over here. Saw this summer that you were training with the Guard Whisperer. A lot of YouTube videos. What was unique about that experience?
I mean, it's really same schedule for me. I've been with Olin since 11th grade, so I feel like they're just probably just putting more videos out. I mean, it's not really much difference to it, but I mean, yeah, me and O been locked in, head down working since in 11th grade for me.
Steph, you've had the opportunity now to share a locker room, learn from Chris Paul and now De'Aaron Fox. What have you gleaned from them as a lead guard with that decision-making stuff? What have you taken from their leadership?
I mean, just seeing how controlled and how efficient they are on the court with their reads. Like I talked about it earlier, being able to play with CP last year was definitely a big help. Being able to see how he sees the court. Him, always, finding me and feeding me, information on what he sees. It definitely opened my eyes to, how they see the game. And I feel like guards like that, high level guards, they see the game way different than, guys that play different positions or guys that, are just in our league, they separate themselves. So, being able to pick up from them with that and being able to take those steps for myself is probably was going to help me get through this year.
And then now having some additional help with the big man with Cornette and Olynyk, how do those guys sort of make your job easier as an initiator?
I make it a lot easier. I haven't got to play with KO since he's got here, but just playing with Luke, he makes the game pretty simple. I mean, his passing ability is I'll say a lot more underrated than people would think, and I feel like that makes the game easier for guards too, being able to trust your big to make a play, when you're getting, jammed up or whatever the case may be. But also having another lob threat off the bench is definitely going to be a plus.
Hey, Steph. talked a lot about your fit with Dylan, but what have you seen from him and Carter, work ethic wise? Just how they're carrying themselves. How they act.
Yeah, I'd say they're carrying themselves like pros. Getting here on time, doing the little stuff. Paying attention, not being afraid to speak up. I feel like they're carrying themselves like pros, and just doing this early is only going to set them to have a good rookie year.
And have you figured out if they're going to be any better about rookie duties than you were?
I don't know. That's not really my call. I don't really give out the rookie duties. I don't think I got that kind of stain yet. So,
Steph, this is kind of a follow-up to the position question. Mitch answered it saying he's very, very good. That's his position. Is too much made of that from the outside? I mean, you guys go out there and just best five are going to be out there, period, in today's day and age. Just wondering if that maybe too much is made of it from the outside.
Well, I don't really know how to explain it. When we're drawing up plays, we don't put, point guard, shooting guard here, small forward here. We kind of just go out there and, play to the best of our abilities. So, coach is going to put the best five on the floor, and we're going to go out there and compete.
Steph, it's his first official year as head coach, Mitch Johnson, obviously, but you guys have had basically a full season with him kind of running the show. What have you seen when it comes to scheme or just him growing as a coach? What have you learned from him and what you're going to be doing going forward under his sort of regime? I would just say just tendencies and stuff that he likes to run. Coach Mitch, he likes to play fast. I feel like a lot of the guys on our team like to play fast. So, that was an easy mesh for us. So, just being able to trust in his judgment within plays, defensive coverage. It's all been well educated to us on why our schemes are like that. So, I feel like we all have the utmost trust in Mitch, and we're just ready for the season.
We haven't seen Victor on a basketball court since February. I suppose you guys probably have seen him behind the scenes a little bit. How's he looking, and what's the excitement level to have that dude back in the lineup?
It's great to have Vic back. It's always good to have him on the court, on both sides. He's been looking great. He's looking healthy, in shape. He's been working his tail off all summer to get to this point. So I think he's gonna have a great year this year. I'm happy for how it looks right now, but I'm even more excited to see how it look, mid-season once we get things rolling.
Hey, Steph, over here. What would be satisfactory for you to accomplish to follow up your Rookie of the Year season?
To have a winning season. I'm happy that I can kind of get that off my chest now. It's like a weight lifted off my shoulders. So now I can, primarily focus on team accolades. Being able to. One of our goals this year is to make the playoffs. So I feel like that would be a success in a year or two for me.
Steph, good morning. Coach Mitch Johnson said that Keldon Johnson and Devin Vassell are now veterans on the court. What are some qualities that you've seen from them on the court that shows you that they're veterans?
Communication, holding people accountable. I said it earlier, not just being on time, being early to things, showing how things are supposed to be done. They've been here the longest out of everybody else on our team, so they kind of know how everything goes. But yeah, just them being leaders for us, on and off the court. I feel like those are the biggest qualities that I've seen from them.
Thanks, Steph.
Yeah.
Devin, good morning. Coach Mitch Johnson mentioned that you and Keldon Johnson are now veterans on the court. In what ways do you guys both push each other now that you are both veterans, and how has your relationship and chemistry grown throughout the years?
Me and KJ been locked in since I got here. We push each other every day. We come in and work, and we try to set the standard. You know, we've been here. He's been here 7 years. I've been here 6 years. So just trying to show everybody what the Spurs way is, what the Spurs culture is. And shout out to KJ, man. Let her do to death.
Devin, you've been here a while and you've gone through the lean years. How hungry are you to finally taste the playoffs or compete for the playoffs? And also, the guys have been talking about the defense, mentioned the word scary a lot. What are your thoughts on how good you guys can be defensively?
Defensively, I guess scary is the word. We have a lot of potential. We have everybody who's bought into the defensive end, so that's an exciting thing. And I'm just excited to lace these bad boys up and get ready and get going, get ready for training camp, and have a great year. I'm excited to see how good we're going to be this year, and we're just going to take it day by day.
Yeah, Devin. Obviously, you guys had added Harrison Barnes last year. First time you guys had been with somebody who won an NBA championship. You had Luke Cornett to the mix this year. What's it like having guys like that who have that experience in the building? Are you still able to learn things from them?
Yeah, for sure. HB and Luke, they've been great. They've been great since they came in. Just being professionals. Coming in, HB's always pretty much the first one in, getting his stuff done, getting his work in. Just showing what it takes to be consistent and what it's like to be a pro. So, especially for our younger guys, Carter, Dylan, some of the younger guys on our team, to see that just goes to show, like, you got to put in, you got to be more, you got to be ready to just work to be able to get to where you want to be. That's all.
Speaking on the rookies, we saw Steph last year. You got these two this year. What's it like to have those rookies in the middle? Is it fun? You having a good time seeing all this?
Yeah, it's actually funny. As I get older and older, to see some of the young guys come in and see their mindset, see their attitude, it's just they bring a different level of joy and entertainment to our program. So it's exciting.
Mitch really pushed you last year to be all around, to really focus on your all around game. Is that the mentality entering this season, or are you still looking to, score and, with the additional parts, is that as important as it was for you in other seasons?
My thing is whatever I can do to help this team win is what I'm going to do. If I have to score, I'm going to score. If I have to sit here and play defense for 48 minutes, that's what I'm going to do. Whatever is asked of me, that's what I want to do. I just want to win. That's it.
When you say you've been here 6 years, does that hit you any kind of way? Like, does that seem like a long time or a short time?
No, it definitely don't feel like a short time, for sure. It feels like it's been a whirlwind. It's been quick. Going into year 6 is crazy, but it's exciting. It's a blessing to be able to say that I've been in the NBA for 6 years, playing for the San Antonio Spurs for 6 years. It's still a dream.
I know last summer you didn't really get the full summer because of for health reasons. Were you able to do the full thing this time? Or?
For sure. It's been a minute since I've had a full, healthy off season, and I think that's going to help me out a lot going into this year. My goal is to play all 82 games, so that's where we're at.
How huge was that, really, to be able to do everything you wanted to this summer?
I mean, strength-wise, conditioning-wise, on-court-wise, like I said, it's been a couple of years since I've been able to do that. So it's been huge. It's been huge. Just honestly, I haven't taken it for granted. Just being able to come in and work every day and even have 2-a-days and do certain things that I haven't been able to do for a while. It's been good.
And lastly, Chris Paul was here last year. He was obviously the vocal leader
for
of this team. Who fills that kind of vocal void with him not here this year?
I don't think it's just one person. I mean, I think obviously with me and KJ being the longest guys here, obviously we have to step into that role. But we got a lot of players like they brought up HB, Luke, some of the guys. But I don't think it's just one person. I think we all as a collective know what we want to do. We know where we want to be, and we just got to push each other for that.
Nobody can talk like Chris, I guess.
Yeah, I can't answer that.
Dev is one of the long-running guys. You've been through a bunch of media days before, which was often the day that we would watch Pop walk into this building. Was it weird today to not have him here? And are your thoughts sort of still with him and what he would say in certain situations, what have you?
Shout out Coach Pop, man. I love Coach Pop. That energy he brings in. You never know how serious he's going to be, if he's laughing, if he's not. I miss Coach Pop and everything. But with Coach Mitch, I know we're going in the right direction, and I'm excited to get this thing going.
What are some of the things that you think are going to like identify a Mitch Johnson coach teams? Like what offensive principles, what philosophies are you seeing more of now?
Really can't get too much into that. With training camp starting tomorrow, I'm interested to see kind of how everything's going to be. Obviously, we got Vic, and we know how big and how important he's going to be for our team. But I don't know exactly all the schemes and everything, so I can't really answer that one right now.
I was going to ask, with so much depth, I mean, so many guys that could be starters. Have you all talked about that as far as, kind of your different roles or anything like that?
One more time, I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry about that. As far as with so much depth, you have so many guys that could be starters. Have you all talked about that amongst yourselves as far as like the roles y'all have or what y'all are kind of looking for?
We haven't talked about that. I just know it's going to be exciting during training camp for everybody to just compete. That's going to be the biggest thing. We're going to be competing a lot, trying to see, like you said, who's starting, whatever the case may be. It's going to be a fun training camp. That's all I can say.
Hey, Devin, you might not know fully what the schemes are going to look like yet, but officially he's the head coach now, but he's been y'all's coach for like the last almost a year.
Right.
What did you see from him and like his learning curve, y'all's learning curve alongside him as he kind of was thrown into the fire, basically?
Yeah. And basically, I can say the main thing is defense. I don't think too much offensively. I think offensively, it'll take care of itself. We have a lot of guys who can either get downhill, score the basketball. I mean, we're blessed and gifted in that area. I think defensively, if we can get a lot of stops, playing transition as a young team, getting out in transition, running, I think that's where we'll excel, and that's kind of where they've been saying, and that's what Coach Mitch has been saying too.
A lot has sort of been made about those players who can get downhill, De'Aaron, Steph, and now Dylan Harper. What does that change for you on the court? How does it make your job easier? Does it add any new challenges for you?
I think them getting downhill, putting pressure on the rim, either you got to help, you got to bring somebody over, and if you do that, there's a lob for Vic, or if they come and help from weak side, there might be a skip out pass. So just being ready to knock it down, catch and shoot, or whatever I got to do. That's what we're going to do.
Thank you, everyone.
Appreciate it.
How's it going, Harrison? Oh, you're sorry.
Good, how you doing, man?
All right. Your thoughts on the season ahead? Expectations for you and for the team?
Yeah, no, I think we got it's been a great summer. Guys working hard, getting ready for the season. I know that everyone's anxious to start the season, and I think the biggest thing for us is taking the energy that Keldon's displaying right now, waving at me obnoxiously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Keldon. No, but I think it should be a fun season for us.
Having a close to a healthy team, hopefully. Victor cleared by the league and the Spurs to play. Fox is on the mend, but it looks like he'll be good to go. How important is that for this team to finally be healthy, to finally get going, have a full season together?
I think it's huge. I think, it's obviously difficult as a group for us as a collective, but also him personally not to be with us, at the second half of the season last year. But I think he's worked extremely hard this summer. He's put in a great few months of work, and I'm excited to see him and see all of us collectively together kind of building that momentum.
I've got an easy one. How excited are you to have Vic back in the lineup and on the floor?
It'll help our defense tremendously. But no, I think just for him personally, I think it was tough not being out there, especially because, it's always like the what if, how would the season have ended if he would have continued on the trajectory that he was on. But this summer, in the preseason so far, before the official training camp, I mean, everyone's been in the gym, the chemistry's been great, the energy has been high, so I think everyone's looking forward to it.
Were you able to follow his world tour on Instagram or whatever social media platform he is this summer?
I was around for some of it, but yeah, he was everywhere. He was everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, Harrison, I think last year I asked you about being the first guy with a championship on his resume to join this roster. Now adding Luke to the mix, what's that been like? And have you still been able to kind of teach some of these younger guys about building habits and things that you wanted to kind of instill?
Man, it's been so long since we won. I had to ask Luke, how's it been? But no, it's been great having him around. Him, Kelly, Lindy, Obviously, Jordan was with us last year. Just having guys from different teams, different experiences that kind of come in, share with the group, share with the young guys, what they've seen, things that work for them, things that haven't. So I think it's been a really good mix of guys coming in to be able to offer different perspectives.
And then from a leadership standpoint, how would you describe De'Aaron Fox as a leader, whether vocally on the court, off the court?
I think Fox is he's great. I think he's able to. I think his game speaks for itself. I think he's able to draw, create at a high level. I think those are the things that most people are going to see. But I think off the court, he's able to connect with guys. I think he's able to have conversations, whether it's with someone who's 19 or someone who's 33. I think he can kind of connect with people on both sides.
Harrison, over here, being in the league for so long, I'm sure you had impressions and you knew about Spurs culture, but what was it like experiencing it, firsthand for the first time last season?
No, I thought it was unbelievable. I think a lot of times, in this league, it's common for people to talk about family and culture and things like that, but I think obviously last year was a unique situation for a lot of different things, but I thought those circumstances brought the family aspect of things to the forefront, right? And I think to see that in real time, to see the collection of not only players, staff, people in the organization, but like former players consistently being around, showing up every day, whether it was for Coach Pop, whether it was for us, current players. I thought that was huge to see that when no one had to.
Harrison, having now inherited the grizzled old man mantle from Chris, you're qualified to answer this. Is this team ready to win yet?
Some of these guys think that me and Chris are the same age. I still haven't knocked that notion out of place, but I'll take it. But yeah, no, I think this group is. I think we're poised to do some positive things this year. I think the biggest thing for us is just how we show up every single day. But I think the expectation that we have internally amongst ourselves and the standard that we have. It's going to be a fun season.
You were kind of thrown into it last year, but having been around it for a year, do you see that step kind of in the process of being made, that all winning teams kind of have to go through that step from not contending to contending and what have you?
Yeah, I think for us, our entire makeup has changed from last year. And I think collectively as a group, we have a little bit more shared experience. Now, obviously, there's still some parts that need to be that we just need time with, right? I don't know how many games that De'Aaron and Victor are actually on the court together, right? But it's like, there's a lot of things that are positive going into the season that we're all looking forward to, and I think that we're willing to show up in the meantime before we can all get there.
Harrison, throughout your tenure as an NBA player, you focused on community projects. Specifically, coming into this season, what community projects are you focused on?
Giving back is something that's obviously very important to my wife and I. And for the most part, we focused on literacy and then just like health and wellness. So whether that's court renovations or just initiatives around just getting kids active, getting them outside, things like that. I would assume that we continue with that this year as well. We haven't necessarily decided which way we're going to go. Like obviously we had the contribution to Alamo Colleges in St. Philip's, which we may do a variation of that, but it'll be something along those lines that's consistent with what we value and believe in.
Hey Harrison, you talk about Coach Mitch and obviously tough situation he inherited last season, and just kind of what you've seen so far, now that he's officially in charge now.
Yeah, I think Coach Mitch has done a great job of handling a difficult situation last year. Being thrust into that position. Nobody is prepared for that, but I think he did the best job possible, and I think this year will be a continuation of that, but also something different, right? Starting off in the driver's seat, running your first training camp, doing things on your own kind of terms, right? Building off kind of a system that's in place, but making it your own. I think that's the biggest thing that I think he's done. I think he's implemented. I think guys can see that and understand that. And I think he's positioned well to to make this thing his own.
Harrison, did you notice that if he had a chance to start implementing his own stuff as the season went on last year? Because it was almost an entire season that he was kind of in charge.
No, I mean, I think that's a tough assessment to say. Did he just take the reins and start just doing his own thing? I think for the most part, all of us in general were just trying to maintain what was already going on, right? The things that we put in training camp, the principles that we had, the standards that we have. That's not to say that coming into this year we're going to have completely different standards and techniques and strategies, but I think, like I said, coming into this year with Coach Mitch having a coach's retreat, a training camp, a preseason, like there's just building blocks that'll be different coming into this season, that he can say, okay, look, I have full ownership of the things that are going on, and everyone is clear on the communication of what we're doing, and then from here, now we can judge the season based off, like I said, him having a full preseason to set the table.
At this stage of your career, do you do anything differently during the off season? With an eye toward your Ironman streak, how proud are you of that, and looking forward to maintaining it?
Yeah, for me, honestly, the main thing remains the main thing. I mean, it's just you go out there, you train, you compete, you stay sharp. You kind of build up that resilience in your body to be able to take on a new 2-game season. But for the most part, the training aspect doesn't change much. It's still doing something every single day to try to prepare yourself for the season. And then when the season comes, it's making sure that you're ready every single night.
Harrison, you've played for championship teams and rebuilding ones. What's one thing that stayed with you throughout all those years?
I think the one thing that has stayed with me through winning teams is the commitment to the details every day. I think that a lot of times, the margin between, a deep playoff team and a lottery team is in the details, right? It's not necessarily large gaps in terms of talent, large gaps in terms of how a team can play from night to night. Is can they do that every single night? Can they do those details every single night? And I think that guys understood that. I think guys sensed that last season, knowing where we were as a group and where we could have been on some nights and where we were on other nights. And I think that's been a huge motivation coming into the season, and it's been a consistent message that's been talked about for the coming months coming into the season.
Hi, HB. You just talked about literacy, so it just made me think about the book club you used to have last year. So I'm just curious if you're gonna try to keep that thing going on, and especially with Wemby, like we know how much he likes to read.
Yeah. I mean, I think hopefully the rookies this year will be a little bit more compliant with the book club than last year. They went a little rogue on me. But no, we'll definitely have that again. We have a good group of guys. Hopefully it'll be like 5 or 6 that can commit to at least 2 books. And then, we can just build it from there, start somewhere and just go from there. Appreciate it, guys.
Hello, how are you? Over here.
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Did you do anything interesting this summer?
Yeah. I did a lot of interesting things, and you didn't see all of them, but you saw more than I'd like.
What was if you had to pick a favorite?
My favorite was probably, going to NASA and checking out all the stuff I'm passionate about from the inside.
What, the training with the monks, what did you learn or take from that?
So training with the monks was an incredible experience. First of all, the culture shock of just being in China, even before reaching the temple at all. It's so interesting, and and very surprising. I really loved it. And the training with the monks itself in the temple, incredible experience. Very much out of my comfort zone. It was my intent from the start, but that's probably as far a physical activity as I'm used to doing. So it really paid off in terms of training, and as a life experience, it's as a curious person, it's just great.
What made it outside your comfort zone?
Oh, I mean, because it's movements. In terms of pure training, I mean, it's movements that I or NBA players, you know, in general, we're not used to do. It's so first of all, it's like physical activity, which is not a team sport, and like kicks. I mean, I don't know if I had ever thrown a kick seriously before, and all this kind of stuff.
They're not moves you can use on the court, though.
I can't. I mean, I can, but just once.
Victor, on one hand, you're coming off this possibly like traumatic experience of possibly losing your career to seeing the world and doing these things with monks and going to NASA. How are you able to compartmentalize those two different feelings, and how would you describe just your mental state through all of this from last February to you sitting here right now?
So just so I understand, please explain compartmentalize.
The basketball side of it and the seeing the world side of it.
Oh, so you know the traumatic experience you talked about is very much linked to all the stuff I've done this summer. You know, there's this will obviously to come back and rehab and be better even before, to become even better than before. But there's also a big feeling that, you know, I mean, life isn't forever, you know, and there are some experiences we're gonna miss on. It's inevitable, but I'm gonna miss on the least of them that I can, you know, like I want to experience the most, and this is something that I wanted to do, and I'm not, just because I'm in the NBA, I'm not gonna keep myself from doing it, you know. I want to experience those things.
Just to be clear, I'm understanding you. Did the health scare sort of prompt you to want to do more of that stuff?
Yeah, for sure. To want to do more of this stuff and to not keep myself from doing stuff, and this works for every fields of life, you know, from being a public person to being a professional athlete. It doesn't matter. I'm still going to do the things I want to do as a human.
It sounds like it's been kind of a profound experience for you then to reevaluate things.
The temple or the thrombosis?
Both.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's life changing. You know, I mean, spending so much time in hospitals and around doctors, and you know, hearing more bad news than I wish I heard. You know, of course, it's as you said, it's traumatic, but in the long run, I think it's going to be very beneficial, because even though I don't wish it on nobody, it makes you understand lessons that nothing else could have made you understand.
Hey, Victor, Victor back here. You look much stronger, I think, than the last time we saw you. Your biceps are popping a little bit more. Just how much there? Yeah, that's you got the camera. Flex it up. How much muscle exactly do you think you've added since the last time we saw you on the court? And what did your workout regimen look like this summer to get in that shape?
So I did a lot, you know, of pure mass first of all, but you should ask the medical staff that are like all the scans and stuff. But of course, I've added muscle mass. And my training this summer, I mean, it was brutal. You know, it's been months. The first part of it was first like coming back and rehabbing and getting my abilities back, and after that, it was just so much developing. You know, and I've spent. I mean, I can assure you nobody has trained like I did this summer, and this is my best summer so far. Like I can tell the progress is just incredible. I feel better, I look stronger, and you know, the scale says I'm heavier, so everything is a green light.
How do you think that's going to impact your game, being a lot stronger this year?
Oh, I mean, it's impacted it already. You know, I've seen it in the runs I've done this summer, or even here in San Antonio. I'm so much more under control, and my conditioning has gotten so much better. But that comes at a price, you know. And what I've done this summer, it's world class. I mean, even in the field of professional sports, I don't think many people have trained the way we've trained this summer.
Are you eating a lot more? Has your diet changed in any way?
I'm still eating a lot, but you know, obviously I don't think I'll be obese anytime soon. But I've been eating a lot, but eating a lot has been a focus for years. So it's progressively.
Victor, Vic, given the time off, do you feel like you need to play a little more in the preseason, or is it just going to be like it has been in the last couple of years?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Given the time off
Oh, yeah.
you had, do you feel like you should play more in the preseason?
So, I feel like I need to play basketball now. Obviously, I played basketball almost all summer, but I've done on my body, there's only so many steps that I'm gonna pass this summer. Like, I'm only gonna get so much better. I think I've maxed out what I could do in one summer, and now I need to play basketball, and work on my skills and as a team, tactically. So yeah, I want to play, and I need to. I miss it.
And Jeremy and Stephon both used the word scary to describe the team's defensive potential.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that has the potential to be the identity of this team, a really good defensive?
Oh yeah, of course. My goal is to set standards. We've started to set them in the gym, but from the first game of the season, in preseason, this is a non-negotiable. It's not something. It's not something you can't do if you want to be a part of our team. And we're gonna hold each other accountable. We know the coach is gonna hold us accountable, and it doesn't matter your status. Defense is non-negotiable.
Vic, you anticipate being? I know you were cleared by the team in the league. You anticipate being ready for opening night?
Yeah, of course. Just being in the arena with fans is gonna. I anticipate it, and I'm so excited. I miss it so much.
Victor, you mentioned that being at NASA was your favorite part of the summer. Just going back to NASA really quickly, there's so many facets of NASA, whether it's space exploration, planetary science. What was your favorite aspect of going to visit NASA?
My favorite aspect, so there was a few, but meeting astronauts that either have been to space or are going to, and legends amongst them. I also went to Axiom, the spacesuit company. I met Peggy Whitson, which has the highest time spent in space by an American, and many other great people. But so that was one of my favorite aspects, and the other one was probably just like a kid, seeing the machines and the aircrafts, everything that's a replica of what's actually in space or going to space. That was incredible.
One of the reasons why kids love outer space is because NASA kind of has that mindset that you can do anything beyond expectations of what people believe. How do you apply that with the NBA?
I can definitely see a parallel for sure. It's an interesting thought, yeah.
Vic, we hear a lot. We hear a lot about you as the alien, right? What did you learn about yourself as a human being this summer?
I learned a lot more than I could tell in just one interview. But as I said, learned many lessons and things that I'm never gonna forget because they're marked in my body. And as I said, I'm at the end of the day, I'm grateful of what I learned, and I'm grateful that I'm passing those steps, in my life, in my career, and as a person.
Vic, over here. Have you had to change any of your routine since the thoracic outlet thrombosis with your right shoulder? Was there any causation there of something that you were doing that you've had to change so that there's not re-injury?
So I don't know where you heard that it's a thoracic outlet thrombosis, but it was definitely a DVT. But I have new routines for sure, and done a lot of job of rehab. But it's I've changed routines, especially in terms of. It's not really related to this. It's the way I want it to work. For example, just one example, I've done much more conditioning in game-like situations. Before, I might have focused more on being able to spend more time in the court and maybe do conditioning in the bike or in the pool. And this summer I chose to do something much more violent, which is conditioning on the court, game-like situations. And maybe that takes away from some time I can spend on shooting the basketball, but it doesn't matter. I wanted to get my body right.
Vic, how was being part of, over here to your right, how was it being a part of the fan section tryouts, and how excited are you about your idea coming to full form?
That was so interesting. It was really fun. And what we took away from this is I'm very hopeful. I've met with the group of we've selected the most how do you say, like, dedicated of them, and we have a real organization now and since a few days it's not my project anymore. They've got it in their hands, and it's going to grow into something great.
Vic, when you look at the additions this offseason and then the continued growth of your nucleus, do you look at this year as the opportunity to take that next step, a chance for the team to get back into the playoffs?
Of course, yeah, it's the goal. And yeah, of course, yeah. Unfortunately, I wish it was already last season, but I realize more and more that there are some things that no matter how hard you try, it takes time and it takes maturity.
Two of the additions over here, two of the additions from the offseason were Kelly Olynyk and Luke Cornett, two big men. What do you make of them, and how might they make your life easier and the team's life easier?
I mean, veterans, they know the league really well, and it's, they will have an important role for us for sure. I haven't gotten to play with Kelly yet, but Luke has been great here in the gym. Playing with and against him has been really interesting, and I know for sure both of them are gonna help us really much.
Does it give you a little bit of maybe optimism that you guys can keep up the rim defense even when you're off the floor now that you've got Cornett here?
Oh yeah, I mean, with Luke, it's not even optimism, it's necessity. It's our combination of both of us, but also whether he's on the court or not, or I'm on the court or not, we will need to have some of the best rim protection in the league, for sure, the best.
Nick, having been cleared by both the team and the league, is there any lingering concern at all that this could recur, or what's kind of your long-term prognosis there?
No, not at all. It's so medically there's no concern at all, and how to say, like, as my own personal worries, I'm way past that. It's been months since I've been feeling confident, as much in the movement as in the way my body works, my physiology.
Yeah. Hey Vic, we've seen you rocking Nike B's featuring your hand-drawn alien on the tongue alongside the basketball alien logo Nike's been using in promos. Can you clarify which is actually your logo, and how does it feel seeing fans already excited for a potential Nike 1B1 potential signature shoe?
So I don't have a logo or a signature shoe yet, so simple as that.
So no signature logo at all, like the
Those of us who've gone to Japan, to go to China, you get this kind of perspective shift. And I'm wondering, as you spent your time there, you see how every day can be a little bit different than how we do things here. How did that shape the way you did your everyday practice when you came back here? And what lessons from that are you taking into how you even see your role as a basketball player?
It definitely expands, my, of course, the vision of the world, and makes you understand people better. But I don't know if I could tell you a specific phrase or lesson that I get from this, but it's interesting experiences that make you grow as a person in general.
Bonjour Victor.
Salut.
Cet été, tu as passé du temps avec des légendes de la NBA, avec KD, avec Hakeem Olajuwon, tu as posté ça notamment. Tu peux expliquer pourquoi tu as décidé de les rencontrer eux, et qu'est-ce que tu as appris en fait à leur contact?
Pourquoi? Parce que c'est... Voilà, avant cet été, je voulais préparer vraiment un été de très haut niveau, et je me suis posé la question, on s'est posé la question avec mon entourage, voilà, qui pouvait m'apporter le plus parmi voilà, certains joueurs, ceux qui sont dispo aussi et ceux avec qui on a des contacts. Et donc voilà, donc j'ai passé du temps notamment avec eux. Et c'était extrêmement bénéfique. J'ai appris tellement de choses, parfois en peu de temps, mais c'était super intéressant.
Et deuxième, tu as dit que tu serais du coup prêt pour le premier match de la saison. Est-ce qu'il y a quand même un processus un peu de montée en puissance progressive? Et du coup, ça veut dire, est-ce que tu pourras jouer en gros le scrimmage de samedi et les matchs de pré-saison, normalement?
Ouais, bien sûr. Ça fait quelques semaines que je suis revenu à 100% et que je m'améliore par rapport à avant. Donc oui, je suis prêt.
Salut Victor.
Salut.
Une question pour France Télévisions. Alors j'ai peut-être te faire répéter parce que c'est important pour nous de t'avoir en français. En quoi ta blessure t'a permis de prendre du recul sur la vie au final et sur ta carrière? Parce qu'à la fin, ça reste que du basket. Est-ce que tu peux revenir un peu sur la manière dont tu as vécu ta blessure?
Bien sûr. Donc évidemment, l'annonce d'une blessure comme ça, même d'une maladie, c'est très dur et c'est un peu assommant même au début, mais vivre ces expériences, même si je le souhaite à personne, ça apporte des enseignements voilà, qu'on ne peut pas avoir autrement. Et des leçons, même si voilà, on le sait tous, on nous le répète sans arrêt que voilà, la vie c'est court, ça va vite, etc. Avant d'être confronté directement à ça, on s'en rend pas forcément compte. Et voilà, donc je pense que au final, mon ressenti sur toute cette expérience, sur tous ces mois, parce que ça fait quand même un moment, c'est que voilà, cette expérience, ça sera bénéfique pour moi, parce que ça m'a fait passer des caps que j'aurais pas passé autrement, ou peut-être pas aussi rapidement.
Et deuxième question, à quoi tu aspires cette saison? Et je crois qu'au premier Media Day, tu nous disais que tu avais des papillons dans le ventre. Est-ce que tu retrouves un peu cette sensation de nouvelles découvertes, de nouveaux départs?
Bien sûr. C'est l'attente de rien que d'être sur le terrain de la saison évidemment, mais rien que d'être sur le terrain, je disais plutôt de voir les fans, d'entendre le bruit de la salle, etc. C'est presque insoutenable, quoi. Ça fait plusieurs semaines que je tiens plus en place. Voilà, je regarde mes highlights et tout. Ça me manque.
Bonjour Victor.
Salut.
Vous avez eu des mots assez forts sur vos progrès et la qualité de l'entraînement de cet été. Donc c'est assez intriguant vu votre niveau que vous aviez déjà avant, le niveau que vous aviez déjà avant. Est-ce que vous pouvez développer un peu là-dessus? Qu'est-ce que vous avez travaillé et à quel point vous êtes pressé d'appliquer ça en situation réelle de match? Qu'est-ce que ça va donner?
Donc les plus gros progrès vraiment c'est au niveau de mon corps. Parce que pour moi c'est... Voilà, pour moi il y a une différence entre jouer en se sentant bien et jouer en étant fatigué. Et sur mes premières saisons NBA, ce qui est normal, c'est le cas de tous les rookies, mais c'est dur de maintenir le rythme sur 82 matchs. Et voilà, et honnêtement, je pense que mon corps il est prêt aujourd'hui. Et c'est là que je me rends compte que peut-être mon corps n'était même pas forcément prêt avant en fait. Et que voilà, je me sens tellement bien sur le terrain aujourd'hui que ça me rassure d'autant plus sur le travail qui a été fait cet été. C'était douloureux, c'était extrêmement dur, c'était vraiment voilà, en dehors de ma zone de confort, mais ça a payé.
Quelques moves en plus dans votre équipe?
Ouais, bien sûr, ça c'est toujours le cas. De toute façon, c'est toujours le cas, même si en toute honnêteté, je m'inquiète pas, et cet été je me suis pas inquiété sur ma capacité à jouer au basket. Je sais que je sais jouer au basket, et les progrès niveau basket que j'ai à faire, c'est surtout niveau pour moi tactique, voilà, plus sélection de shoot, etc. Mieux connaître le jeu, mais j'ai confiance en ma capacité à jouer au basket. Par contre, je sais que j'ai encore un potentiel inexploité au niveau de mon corps, et je pense qu'on a pour la période que j'ai eue cet été, je pense qu'on l'a exploité au maximum. Merci.
Hey, De'Aaron, how you doing? Over here. I guess that is my question. How are you doing? And how's the health-wise? And I guess you got a hamstring now. And
yeah, I mean, I feel good. I mean, I felt like I could have played a little bit ago, but
they're not letting me. So, I mean, we're taking it day by day, but I feel great.
You feel like you'll be on the floor at some point during camp and preseason? They're just kind of.
I don't think for preseason. I don't think I'll be ready for opening night. Well, I think I'm ready, but I don't have that expertise. But I mean, we go off of kind of how I feel, and like I said, I feel like I can go out there and play right now.
I think the last time we talked to you was right before you went under the knife for the thumb thing. How did that go? And I guess you survived.
Yeah, it went well. I mean, it's not in the way. And it's funny because I looked at pictures from a few years ago, and my finger was kind of like this anyway. So we're about at where I was. So the hand is no issue.
A lot of people.
Yeah, hamstring. Yeah, and when it happened, I'm like, I had never had a hamstring injury, so I didn't know what I was supposed to feel like. But like I said, right now I feel great.
But just to be clear, you said they have ruled you out for opening night?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be playing for opening night. I definitely won't be playing in the preseason. That's for sure. So, but we're playing by ear, and like I said, I feel like I can play right now. So.
I imagine it's kind of frustrating in that you only got 5 games after the trade. You want to come back now. How do you feel, off the court, just settling into this whole system that this offseason has sort of moved towards that?
It's been great. I mean, I've been able to be on the court with guys, and even when I haven't, I've been around. So just being able to build that chemistry, and obviously, teams want to get better during the offseason, and you want to get better as individuals, but you try to do some team stuff because, I mean, guys want to get away from each other for at least a little bit. But we have a group of guys that enjoy being around each other and enjoy competing against one another. So I think that made getting together this summer even that much more easy because you do enjoy being around each other. So I think we had an excellent summer, all as individuals and as a unit.
Just real quick, which hamstring?
Right hamstring.
And you and Wemby, the pick and roll situation, how much are you itching just to get back on the court and develop that part of y'all's?
I mean, I think it's huge. I mean, for all of us, and I think we have a lot of guys who are going to run pick and rolls with Vic. So, being one of those tandems, you want those 3 tandems to be the top 3 tandems in the league if you can. But with that comes, you have to be able to develop that chemistry because if y'all don't know what each other wants to do, it's hard to run a pick and roll. And obviously, when you're running a pick and roll, it's not just those 2 guys. The other 3 guys on the court are also involved. So just trying to continue to build that, and you want to be one of the best in the league. I mean, we all know it's an ISO heavy league, and it's a pick and roll heavy league. So if you can be one of the best pick and roll teams in the league, you see yourself as one of the top offenses in the league as well.
To be clear, you said you never had a hamstring before?
No.
And I checked your social media, and you said you tried to dunk at your camp for kids because you tried to show off the house with it. Did you pull your hamstring?
No. It wasn't then. It's funny. That was like my 3rd time playing 5 on 5 since I had came back from the finger. So I was very giddy to get back out there at that point.
So tell us about your excitement level, not just you and Wemby, but Steph's growth last year, the addition of Harper, some of these other young players that can beat guys off the dribble and run pick and roll.
I think we have a very dynamic team. I don't think there are a lot of teams out there that have kind of multiple or that many guys that can really handle the ball. I mean, like the guys you named, and you have Keldon who likes to get downhill, Devin who's able to create his own shot. We have a lot of individuals who are able to create their own shot. But at the end of the day, for us, I think the big thing is, what happens after that. We have a lot of guys that can touch the paint. We have a lot of guys that can create for themselves. But a lot of what goes on in this league are a lot of catch and shoot threes. It's a lot of lobs, and it's a lot of cutting, trying to get layups. Not very much of the times is it the guy that initially has the ball that ends up scoring. So for us, it's, can we make open shots? Because we're going to get open shots. We have a lot of guys that can create advantages. So I think that's where our offense lies, and what happens after the initial guy creates something.
De'Aaron, over here. What's going on? It feels like you played in a lot more than just one playoff series. It feels you as a player, it feels like you.
No, it doesn't.
Not you,
No, it doesn't.
But so from our standpoint, from a competitive standpoint, you look at the younger guys like Victor and Stefan Castle, how locked in those guys are at that age. Does it bring up the level of competition with everybody else in that locker room?
Definitely. I mean, whenever your better players or your franchise cornerstones compete on both ends of the court, it makes everybody else, bring up their level. So it's great, especially for Steph, to who have last year, he's guarding the best players in the league. Being able to do that your first year does nothing but give you confidence in knowing that you have the ability to do that night in and night out. And then obviously having Vic, who's, different defensively than anybody has, than we've ever seen, that also gives you confidence to be more aggressive as a defender. So for us, I think we have the youth, we have the athleticism to be able to try to turn teams over and get out on the break. And it takes a little pressure off your offense if you're able to allow your offense to be fueled by your defense.
I can sense a little bit of desperation to get to the playoffs in your voice there talking about.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I played in playoffs once. Even another year where you have 46 wins in the West and you're the 10th seed, or we were 9, but we were tied for 10. It does give you a sense of kind of just wanting to get back there, but knowing that in this conference, you drop 2 or 3 games, and now instead of being a 50-win team and you're the 6th seed, you're a 47, 46, 45 win team, and you're seeing yourself in the play-in, or maybe even not in the play-in. So this conference isn't going to get easier, and as a team, we're hoping that we're continuing to develop and get better.
De'Aaron, this summer before the injury, did you get a chance to run in workouts with Stefan and Dylan?
No, so this is not with Dylan, but with Steph, yes, and with Vic, yes.
And as much excitement as there is for adding Dylan and Stefan's growth, when we look at you, you're an established guy in the league, an all-star. And so do you look at this opportunity, first full year here, for this season to be a year in which you kind of help put your stamp on this team right there next to Wemby?
Yeah, definitely. That was a big reason why I wanted to come here. I see the youth and the talent that they have. Obviously, you want to continue to develop that. And I think me being 27, I think you kind of expedite that process a little bit. But at the end of the day, this organization doesn't skip steps. So, we know that there will be growing pains, but at the end of the day, you would love to win while you have growing pains rather than, losing and trying to have moral victories. You want to win while still getting better as a team.
Hey, De'Aaron, over here. Right here. Can you talk about the additions to the coaching ranks of Sean Sweeney and Cornelius Williamson? How big is that for this team moving forward?
Well, I didn't really know Cornelius that well, but, with Sean, playing against those Dallas teams, just their philosophies were always a tough thing to get by. And I've had good games against Sean, but he definitely, the way he teaches it definitely makes it tough on a ball handler, on a guy who likes to get downhill. And we're just looking to implement that and also continue to be aggressive in what we do. His teams have historically turned teams over well and been able to play in transition. So I think we have the guys, I think we have the athleticism to do that as well.
De'Aaron, having arrived in February, the second half of last season, getting to watch Chris Paul kind of be the leader that he was vocally on the court, whatever it might be, do you see yourself, or what's that like for you now as probably the oldest guard, in that room? What's your leadership style, and how do you plan to kind of do that?
Just continue to have a voice. And I think I've played well throughout my career. Obviously, I haven't won to the extent that I want to win, but I think those guys still kind of look at me as someone who's done that. And for me, one, it's a blessing to be able to be in a room with guys who are that talented and that young. And two, it's a blessing because I'm still able to play at an extremely high level. It's a little different when, someone could be in their late 30s and kind of their prime's past them and they're trying to teach. But at the end of the day, I can go out there and I can still do what I'm kind of preaching to them. So I think it's great. I think it's the best of both worlds.
Sure. And then when you got here, something you mentioned was how impressed you were about Victor's mindset, the way he was down to earth and everything. He was talking earlier how his diagnosis deep with the blood clot kind of spurred him to want to see the world and experience and do everything he did this summer. What did you make about his response to that and the way he's kind of taken this injury and moved forward?
I think it shows resilience. Obviously, we know the type of talent that he is, and I think people are learning the type of person that he is as well. But for him, that's something that knock on wood, could kill you. So, him just looking at life differently and just being able to travel. And obviously he has the means to be able to do that, but to be able to do that and kind of come out with a different view on not only the sport, but on life, I think that's just a testament to the person that Victor is. And I don't think it surprises anybody in this building.
De'Aaron, you got a big extension this off season. What did that mean to you to get that out of the way and just know that you're locked in here as a big part of this core moving forward?
I think it's always great just knowing that this system has a belief in you to be able to help this franchise get to the next level. So for me, I go out there and I continue to be me. I continue to be the player and be the person that I am because they saw something in me. So it does give you confidence. It definitely gives you confidence to go out there and play your hardest and play to your full potential.
De'Aaron, when healthy, you're probably the fastest guard or fastest player in the NBA.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was running 15 miles per hour. That's why I say I think I'm ready. I'm running at 15 miles per hour already. Okay. And they say that no player, I think last year's ran over 18 miles per hour, and I think my max last year was 17.8, and I'm already running it. That's why I say I think I'm ready. Because we were talking about it yesterday. I'm like, yeah, I ran 15.3, I think. I'm like, that's probably faster than most of the guys that are here. So when I say I think I'm ready, I for real think I'm ready. So, no, my bad, go on.
No. Speaking of your speed, there's a streamer going around. I don't know if you know.
Speed? Talking about speed? Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I see it.
Do you think if you and Speed were in a race, how would that go?
Speed wouldn't beat me, but Speed for someone who, and like you see, he works out now, but if Speed was probably to take it serious, he'd be I think he'd be an elite athlete. I think he's a very good athlete with what he's already doing, but he could be, because I think he's 20, maybe 21, 20. He'd be an elite athlete if he actually took it serious, especially from a young age, for sure. I believe that.
Guys, we got one more. Raul in the back.
Hey, De'Aaron, hope you don't mind me asking, but just curious, some of the players have had some negative interactions with fans as far as prop bets. Just curious about that with you. Have you run into any of that? Is that something that you wish we could?
You know what? I'm going to say this. I don't know if you saw, obviously the W is growing. It's growing a lot, and you can bet on the W. And I've seen players kind of complain about it. And for me, I have a different standpoint on it because I really don't care. You put your money on it, you lost your money, that's on you. I've had bets with people that I've lost, and I didn't appreciate it, but it is what it is. You probably have a gambling problem. So they always put the little 1-800. They need to call that number. So I don't care. I don't care. But yeah, people bet on preseason games. I saw someone was like, if you bet on Thursday night college games, you have a problem, or Friday night college games. Yeah. Yeah, you have